Cervical cancer campaigner Vicky Phelan was one of the best known faces in the country. In 2014, she was diagnosed with terminal cancer after a false negative smear which was carried out as part of CervicalCheck. She sued a US laboratory in the High Court and settled her case, afterwards speaking on the steps of the court.
I am terminally ill and there is no cure for my cancer. My settlement will mostly be spent on buying me time and on paying for clinical trials to keep me alive and to allow me to spend more time with my children. If I die, and I truly hope that won't be the case, the money will provide for my family.
She campaigned tirelessly to bring awareness to the CervicalCheck scandal.
I mean, I have a huge, motivator to get this right. And, obviously for the women of Ireland, but it's my daughter that motivates me to get this done.
But the most important role in her life was that of mammy to her two children, Amelia and Dara. In 2020, she spoke to Virgin Media about her family.
There are good things that have come out of having a terminal illness. It makes you realise what's really important. I was no different than anybody else, worried about stupid stuff like, being overweight and kind of not wanting to go somewhere because, I don't look right or I don't have the right clothes. I couldn't care less anymore. I'm gone past that, I just want to spend my time with my kids while I can, because unfortunately I see that, there will be an end to it, and, I won't be able to do these things. So, I try and pack it all in as much as I can. You don't think too far ahead. You can't. Because when you start thinking too far ahead, then what if I'm not there for that,
In recent months, she had posted updates about her condition on social media.
When you get to the fourth line of treatment, there's not much they can do at this stage. It's to treat my symptoms really, and to try and keep my pain under control. It's palliative, and we all know that. I know that, my family knows that, so I just feel that I'm not going to put my body through that hell anymore.
Earlier this year, Vicky was honoured with the Freedom of Limerick City for exposing the CervicalCheck debacle. She spoke about what she hoped her legacy would be.
It's a hard thing to ask a question and to ask a hard question, but if your life is on the line, if it's something to do with your life, you certainly should be asking more questions, and that's really what I'd advise anybody to do. So I suppose my legacy, I hope that people will learn to stand up for themselves.
Hannah Murphy, Virgin Media News.
Well, let's get some reaction to the news of Vicky Phelan's passing. Our news correspondent Zara King joins me now. And Zara, tributes pouring in this afternoon for a woman described as a tireless fighter.
Yes, Caroline, and anyone that you've spoken to today that I've been chatting to on the phone this morning is very upset, actually. And, a lot of them have struggled to kind of find the words, and that's really understandable under the circumstances. I suppose a lot of people that I spoke to today felt that Vicky had rallied so many times that they never really thought this day would come, even though she had warned them that it would. And so I think the reality of this is really just sinking in for a lot of her friends and the people that she would have campaigned alongside. And particularly a lot of them spoke about the work that people may not have known that Vicky did. She helped a lot of women very privately. I myself would have had conversations with Vicky about certain women that she was trying to help and trying to highlight their cases. She was somebody who worked tirelessly through the last couple of years on that. In a statement today, the 221 Plus group said that they have lost their big sister. They say, "We are shattered. She told us this day would come, but she fought so hard and so well that we couldn't let ourselves think that it would happen." They say, "Our hearts go out to Jim, Amelia and Dara, and to Vicky's mum and dad, her sisters and her brothers and her extended family. They say our pain is suffocating just now, but it is nothing compared to their loss." Alan Kelly, the Labour politician, is not just a politician, he's a very good friend, actually, of Vicky Phelan's, very, very close friend. And they worked together on things, but they also were very, very close on a personal level, and he's paid tribute to her today.
Vicky always bounced back, and even though I knew this day was coming, it's still very hard to comprehend. She was the most incredible human being I've ever met. She just was so resilient, and she has changed Ireland. Her impact on Ireland will last forever, because I think she has taught everyone to think differently about their health, and she's empowered people. And I know she helps so many people privately she never even talked about. But as a nation, we all mourn today.
Well, Caroline, just returning to the words in that statement from the 221 Plus group, they reminded us of what Vicky had said back in 2018, and people will have probably heard this a few times, a very powerful statement where she said, "I don't want your apologies, I don't want your tributes, I don't want your aide de camp at my funeral, I don't want your accolades or your broken promises, I want action. I want change and I want accountability. And they say, let those words be her legacy, that cervical screening saves lives. And while it failed Vicky, in her memory, those with responsibility must ensure that it never fails others.
OK, Zara King, thank you very much for that.